This is a photo of myself in October 2023. Let me. This is myself. This is me in October. I'm currently recording this in February of 2024, and I look back at this picture and I say, wow, I am very evolved now. This guy in this photo, he was a complete whiny imbecile. He sucks. October 2023, Elias Pistot sucks. He's so much worse in comparison to like 2024 February Elias Pistot. But when you're comparing yourself to yourself, which is the only person you should be comparing yourself to, you need to remember that you are going to evolve past your current self. In like March, in like April, I am going to be looking back at this very video and saying, wow, he was not good at all. He has evolved so much from then. He didn't even speak English that well. February Elias Pisot was so bad. And then I won't even remember October 2023 Elias Pisot. And I start this bad cycle in like October of this year where I look back at like March Elias Pisot, April Elias Pisot, and I say, wow, that guy sucked. I'm so good now. I just wanted to remind you that you are never actually going to be your best self if you're on like improvement. I don't want to say self improvement because after a certain point it kind of turns like improving everything in your life, including yourself, but you know, everything else. So it's a very general kind of improvement. If you look back at yourself now in this very moment, a year from now, hoping that like you've still improved every single day that year, you probably won't see somebody that's very good. I look at my like New Year's photos at like the start of this year, January 1st, and they still see a pretty bad a pretty bad version of myself. But who says that in a month I won't be looking back at my version of February Elias Pisot and say, wow, that version was the absolute worst. That's very toxic. You shouldn't be looking back at your past self and saying, oh, that's so bad. Oh, I'm so good. Because you're always going to seem bad to your future self. And quite honestly, looking back at this October photo of myself, if you can see, I'm just going to highlight this. On the table, I had The 4-Hour Work Week by Timothy Ferriss. So it's very clear that I was still investing time in like improving myself, this version of myself, so I can end up like this. And when I look back at this video, I will see that I have now put my mic closer to my mouth because it wasn't, you weren't hearing anything just then. And I have invested in my future self by doing that. By reading Quixote or making this video about October me, I am still improving February me. And March me, April me will be proud of this version of myself. You shouldn't be looking at with hatred to the past version of you. Yes, they might be kind of weak. They might be kind of not as good as you are now. But they are still the one that built, that got them invested, sacrificed so many things, so you are now who you actually are. Because if I look back in a couple of months at this video, I could probably point out like 1,000 things that are just aren't good with my appearance. Have you seen my hair? You probably have seen my hair. It's not that great, and in a couple of months, I will have probably solved the problem, and I would look back at this version of myself as a complete pansy, who's actually using the word pansy in 2024. So, the moral of like this complete rant that doesn't really have a purpose, if I'm honest, is look at your past self as kind of a young Warren Buffett. They invested so much so you can be happy in this moment. I've just started my vacation. I'm going to like another city tomorrow. I'm very happy. I've just recorded this YouTube video. I have done so many things in my past that have now built this version of myself. I have invested through rigorous sacrifice to actually be who I am now. And believe it or not, it is the investment, the hard work of this little guy, which now seems redundant, who now seems like a weak man, but he's the one that has built me. He is the one that has laid the bricks to who I am now. And I am now the one that will build the bricks to who I will be in a couple of days, weeks, months, and years. I'll see you later.